This is probably the most exciting video of this tutorial series. It will teach you how to run a party with the quiz zone. After you have successfully created a party as discussed in the previous video, you will find the party in the play menu. So you go play, parties, and this is the window. And you will find it in the list of parties. If you have filled it with all the questions, it will appear with the ready status like this. You can click on the party and then on the Start Party button, or you can simply double click it. Two windows will open: the Party Management window from where you will control the party, and the Game window. The Game window is designed to be moved to another screen so that you show it to players maximized. So I can take it, move it somewhere else, move it back here, and then I'm going to place it up here so you can see it. You can maximize the game window by clicking on it and pressing Alt plus Enter. Here we'll keep the window small so that you can see both the management window and the game window in the tutorial. If you want to change the settings of the game window, you just go back to the menu, click on the quiz zone, game window settings, and here you have the graphic settings. You can change the resolution of the window. You can change the graphics quality. Let's set it to high now and restore 640 by 400, which is ideal for this tutorial. You may find more details on the management of the graphics quality in the other tools video. Let's now focus on the game management window. It is organized in two parts. On the left, you have the management of the teams that are playing in the party, while on the right, you have the management of the advancement of the party from question to question. First of all, we need to check that volume of the game window is appropriate. So in this case, I want to lower it. I can also stop it completely and then play it again. But for this tutorial, I want it to be very low volume. So I'm going to set it to 10. You can also raise it again, but I'll keep it to 10. The first operation that's strictly needed for the party is logging in. To allow players to log in, click on Enable Login. You will see at this point the login code both here and on the game window. However, to make it more visible and also display the QR code, you should click on Show Login Screen, which you show the login code and the QR code. Users can log in from our website following the link they see here or via the app. The QR code works both from the app and from a regular camera app. In the app, it will automatically log a player into the party after they log into their profile. From the camera app, they will get a link that will take them to the login screen for the party. You may find more details in the tutorial video on logging in. You can check who has logged in by clicking on the update button here on the bottom left. Once you want to start a party, hide the login screen, clicking here. But we recommend to keep the login open so the players who arrive late may still log in. They will be able to do that by looking at the login code that's still written here on the top of the game window. Then go to the right side of the window and click on Start Party. After the game has finished communicating with the servers, you are ready to go. All the control buttons are displayed at the bottom of the right side of the window, so here. Buttons are displayed based on the selected management mode. You can either select Simplified or Complete mode. We recommend using Simplified mode, which only shows a single button at a time. This is the predefined action to advance the party in a standard way. You may, however, want to display also other options by switching to complete mode. For example, in this case, you can skip the intro and just go straight to the party description. But let's go to the simplified mode again. Complete mode is typically useful when you want to perform operations that are not ordinary, for example, canceling question. Another option that you have is to enable party control from a remote presenter, which is here. With this option enabled, you don't need to click on a button every time to advance progress in your party, but you can simply click on a remote presenter connected to your computer. This will perform the default operation, which is clicking on the button in simplified mode. For example, I can take my remote presenter that I have here, I connect it to my laptop, and now you see I have my remote presenter. I just click on it and I start advancing through the intro. So I have the first team, which is called Pepone, then I click again, second team, which is called Pluto, click again, I'm out of the intro, and I am at the party description. So this is really convenient. Before moving on to the party, let's take a look at 3 additional buttons that are available. First of all, here we have Reset Game Window, which allows resetting the game window in case it gets stuck due to some issue. Then Select Sponsor is displayed if a sponsor image has not been selected in the definition of a party, allowing to select an image and a text to display for party sponsoring. For example, I'm going to click on it, and then we suppose that this party is sponsored by Commodore 64 because we are in the 80s. And as a message, we can say Commodore 64 is great. And at this point, I can show the sponsor, which will appear here with the sign that I defined. And then I can hide my sponsor. You also have the Show Subtext button here. This allows you to display a text at the bottom of the game screen. This may be any text, so let's see how to use it, for example, to wish a happy birthday to one of our players, which is going to be Pepone. So, happy birthday, Pepone. Click on OK, and here it comes. Happy birthday, Pepone. And then I can hide it. But now let's get to business and start the actual party. After the introduction, which we have already seen, we go to the party description window. In this window, we can see the general rules of the party. So how many points are won or lost for a correct or wrong answer, how many abstentions each player has for the party or for each round, and what's the time limit per question. Default means that there are varying time limits per each question. We can then go to party format, which tells us that we have 2 rounds. So the first round is called qualification, which is a classic round with 6 questions and 15 seconds to answer. And the second round is a final round, still a classic round with 2 questions and 12 seconds to answer. And we also see the cut that there is between the first and second round. So only 2 teams are going to qualify with reset scores, and then other teams can also play. In this case, we only have 2 teams logged in, so they are both going to the final unless another team logs in the meantime. In this case, the last team is going to be eliminated from the party, and only the best 2 teams are going to be able to compete in the final. But now, using my remote control, I can start the initial round, and now we have the description of the round, which we must carefully explain to our users. This is because it's important that players know the rules before starting each round. So in this case, we see that this is the first of 2 rounds. It's a classic round. We have 15 seconds to answer each question. The name of the round is qualification. It has 6 questions. 2 teams are going to qualify for the next round with reset scores, and other teams will still be able to play after this round. So we can continue and go to the question category. The category is football. We have a multiple choice question. So let's take a look at this question. This has no multimedia, so you'll just see the text of the question, which is where was the 2010 FIFA World Cup final held? We can show and activate our answers. Now I'm going to simulate the answers of our teams. Correct answer was Johannesburg. By default, the action is going to the last question standings now, so let's go there. And now we can see the standings for this question. The standings here in the last column show the color corresponding to the question that was given. So Pluto gave the yellow answer, which was Johannesburg, which was the correct one, while Pepone answered red, which is Cape Town. So you can also understand which question each team gave. Then we have the number of abstentions left for each team. So they both have one abstention left. The time they took to answer, the score they got in this question, and then of course the position. Now we can move on to the next question. In this question, we are going to have an image because you see that there is a camera here. That means that it's a photographic question. Still a multiple choice question with 15 seconds to answer. So we can show the image now. First, we are going to see the image, which is this. And then we are going to see the text of the question. What's the name of this monument? And finally, we're going to see the available answers. I will simulate the answers. Statue of Liberty is the correct answer. We can go to the last question standings. Both teams got the correct answer. We can move on to the next question now. And this is an audio question, as you can see from the treble clef here. This is a science question with multiple choice question again. So now we are going to see the text of the question first. This recording is taken from which space mission? And when I'm going to show the available answers, you're also going to hear the audio. So that's very important for the players. Try not to talk while the audio is playing. So these are the answers.
Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we've had a problem. We've had a main beam undervolt.
Roger, main B undervolt.
And that's Apollo 11 is the correct answer. So we can move to question standings. Both got it right. But now I want to show you something. Let's assume that there was an error in this question. Somebody complained and they are right. So we want to cancel the question. To do so, we just go to complete management mode. And now you see that I can go straight to the next question. Was to take a look at the global standings, go back to the party description, or also cancel the question. So I just click on cancel question. I'm asked if I'm sure to cancel the last question. And before clicking on OK, just take a look at the scores that we have here, so the standings. Pluto has 2,200 points, while Pepone has 1,200 points. If I click on OK, the scores change because the last question is not valid anymore. So the scores are cancelled and it's not going to count. And now I can go to next question, go back to simplified mode, and we can carry on with our party. Fourth question is a video question, as you see from the screen here, and it's about politics. Let's take a look at not really the text first, because first we are going to see the video.
The States and their affiliated stations are proud to provide facilities. Nixon.
Then we get the text of the question. So this video is taken from the US presidential elections from which year? We get the options. Correct answer was 1960. We can go to the last question standings. So Pepone got it right, Pluto got it wrong. It's red, so he answered 1956. we can go to the next question. This is a question about golf, and it doesn't have any multimedia. As you see, there's nothing up here, but this is very important because it's now an open question. In an open question, a team just needs to press any button in order to reserve the right to answer. They will have to answer verbally. That means that you will have to mark their answer as either correct or wrong, as we are going to see now. So let's show the question, and immediately the countdown is going to start. So you see, we have the question and the countdown already started. So now Pluto is reserving the right to answer, and now you see that you can check the answer locally here. Just make sure that nobody can see the answer while you're clicking on this. So the answer is going to be albatross. And let's assume that Pluto answered something else, for example, birdie. So we are going to click on wrong. Of course, in this case, there is no simplified management. So if you click on something, nothing is going to happen because there is no predefined behavior. Now you see how many points Pluto lost, and you can show the question and start the countdown again. And now it's going to be Pepone, reserving the right to answer. This time he answers albatross. The answer is correct. And we see how many points Pepone won. We can go to the last question standings now. We see the standings. In this case, green just means that he got the correct answer and red the wrong answer. And now, since we are after the 5th question, every 5 questions we are going to automatically see the global standings. So here the option is global standings. And now you just see the global standings with the average time and the score of each team. Now let's assume that somebody else is joining the party right now. So we are going to have one more team participating. We don't need to know about that because as we progress with the party, so we do next question, we are going to automatically see here the list of teams updated. So now we have 3 teams. And at this point, the elimination is going to make sense because one team is going to be eliminated and not be able to compete for a victory in the final round. Now we have another open question which has an image. So click on show question and start countdown. And we see the image while we are also seeing the countdown and the text of the question. Pepone reserved the right to answer. This time Pepone answers correctly. This was Halle Berry. So let's take a look at the last question standings. This is what we have, and notice that even though Pluto and Panchina didn't answer, so they technically abstained, abstentions in open questions don't count, so they still retain their abstention. And now, since we are at the end of the round, you see question in round 6 of 6, we go again to see the global standings. And the global standings show here in red that Panchina 85 has been eliminated from the game, while Pepone and Pluto can keep on playing. So now we have the screen on the qualified teams, which reminds us that the top 2 teams can advance to the final round and their scores are reset, so they will restart from 0. Other teams can keep on playing, so Panchina 85, even though it was eliminated, it will be able to keep on playing. So let's click on next question. Now you see that everybody has a score of 0. Panchina because it already had a score of 0, and Pluto and Pepone because they had their scores reset. And here you can see that out round is 1, so Panchina will not be able to do any better than 3rd place because he's not competing for victory now. And here we have a screen about this round. So this is the final round. We have 12 seconds to answer each question, and we only have 2 questions. Let's take a look at the category of the question. It's an open question about geography and it has an audio. So now I click on this button and we're going to see the text and also listen to the music. Pepone reserved. Let's assume that he got the wrong answer. We can continue playing. Pluto reserves the right to answer. Again, wrong answer. We can start again. In this case, Panchina is not going to answer. And so at the end of the countdown, we immediately see the correct answer. And then we can go to the question standings. Pluto and Pepone got it wrong. Panchina, you see here that it's still in red because it was eliminated. And here it's not very clear now because it's very small, but when it's full screen, you're going to be able to see it. Panchina has a parenthesis 1 here, meaning that it was eliminated in the first round. And let's jump to the next question, which is also going to be the final question. This is an open question with 12 seconds to answer about sports, and it has a video. So let's go to take a look at the video first. Right at the end of the video, you see the text and the countdown starting. Somebody is reserving the right to answer. This is Pluto. So now Pluto will give the correct answer. Monaco. And since we are at the end of the party, see question in party 8 of 8, we go straight to the final standings. And final standings come with this podium view. So since we have 3 teams who played, we are going to show the third team first. This is Panchina 85 with 0 points out at round 1. And then clicking again, we're going to see both the first and second classified so that we automatically reveal the winner. The winner is Pluto, and notice that Pepone has fewer points than Panchina, but since Panchina was out at round 1, then Pepone is still second and Panchina is third. And at the end, you just click on home screen and you can go back to the home screen. At this point, if the party was part of any tournament, you can also show the standings of the tournament. You have the list of all tournaments here, so you can just select which view you want to use. So either simple view or podium view. In this case, we're going to use simple view. You click on show and you're going to be able to see the standings of the tournament. Here in the last column, you see how many parties a team has won in the tournament, out of how many parties played. We can click on again on home screen, and that's all. And that's it. You are now ready to be a host with the Quiz Zone.